And
Chaps.
that was the intro to our show. Welcome to the Sports Deck Live. You are Tara B, and Steve is here, looking a
As
bit
the boss.
looking
As the boss.
Yeah, but you're looking a bit sepia this evening. I'm going to say it.
I don't know why, because yours is really colourful, right?
I know, because I am.
But my yeah. Right, we're not starting off on that again, right? But the thing is, when I see myself on this,
Yeah.
I don't look very colourful.
No.
Now, I know this is really weird, but I could use my iPad, and I think I'll come out really colourful.
Baby.
So what we're going to do, we're going to suffer me. Looks like I'm in black and white, but I'm not really in black and white. There you go. Look, the colour popped up for a moment.
What's going on there? Where did that come from?
It's called magic hands.
Don't move. Stay like that for the whole show. No, you see, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I don't know why. I think it might be the fact that I've got my iPad and I've got my Apple Watch and I've got my iPhone and I've got the internet and I've got my laptop and I think my daughter's home. She's doing her homework. I think that's probably part of the reason.
Everything's right. All right, move forward to the camera. Sit forward. Yeah. No, it's because you're too far away.
Oh, nobody really cares about seeing me. Hold on, I'll go like this the whole thing, yeah? Like...
I told you to stop.
I'm in a good mood today. Before you start driving everybody mad with boxy basketball, I didn't say that, right? But before you drive everyone mad with your basketball, I'm in a good mood today, but I've been a bit sad, if I'm totally honest, because today would have been my mum's 95th birthday today, yeah?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she passed away just over 3 years ago, and really this morning, I suppose for a while, it just hit me, I was a bit sad, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm happy because this was my last day this year of having to go to work at stupid hours, which is for me after 4 o'clock because I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So I've just finished doing yet another long day, and it was the last one. So I haven't got any more long days.
Good.
And I think it's such a rush to get home and then do this and do a quiz, and I keep fading black and white because I've changed stuff in my office, and I'm going to put my teeth in hopefully sometime next week. But that's another story. And you see, I look really red now because I was in the sun, yeah?
You're like a chameleon. You just change colour when you want.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's me, yeah? Chameleon. I've never been called that. So come on.
Yes.
I know what you told me off air. That was good news. But what you want to discuss the basketball. So the whole world, and this is people in America who are watching this show as well now.
Yes.
Well, there must be one of them watching. Want to know what the hell happened to the Milton Keynes Breakers over the weekend?
Yeah. So officially, the league hasn't started, but
right. But
they have.
I'm putting the volume up here. I need to listen to this. I've got my Muttley ears in. Hold on.
Make sure you take note because I'll be asking questions at the end. So
good luck getting an answer.
So they were invited into the Kit King Trophy. Now
the Kit King Trophy.
Kit King Trophy.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
I'm a bit Muttley.
I could tell.
Pardon?
So the Kit King Trophy is normally only for D1 teams, and then maybe 2 or 3 D2 teams are invited. And this season, the Breakers got invited in as one of the D2 teams now. So the Kit King Trophy, they start pre-season. Okay. So on the 10th of September, Breakers had an away game. Which they
friendly.
a friendly, which they won 83-57. And then the following weekend, they went straight into the first round of the Kit King Trophy. So it's group stages, and each team plays each other once. So that's 3 group games. And then it goes straight into the quarterfinals, and then semis, and then final. Got it?
Yeah, I always get as far as the semi. I don't seem to get past the semi.
Difficult, very, very difficult, because you're playing D1 teams, so they're
No, that went straight over your head. Never mind. Right, okay.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
It's tough.
What was it?
Well, 61. Semis are quite good at 61. Right, go on, carry on.
Send me what?
Oh, never mind. You spoiled the joke.
Sorry, I don't get it, Steve. Talk to me
No,
later.
you will later on, though. Your husband will explain.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, you'll have to explain it to me later.
Yeah.
So they did their first group game, and that was a home game against Nottingham Hoods on the 17th of September.
Nottingham Hoods.
Nottingham Hoods.
How can you call your team Hoods? It sounds
like they're like, I don't know, like, I don't know, what is it, like hoodie boys, you know, I don't know. What are they?
hoodlums.
Hoodwinkers?
Hoodlums.
Hoodlums? Anyway, they played the Nottingham Hoods and they won 93-72. They then played City of Birmingham.
Wait a second. To prove this is live TV,
Yes.
my daughter, who's just come in from school.
Oh, bless her.
Hello.
No, I
Hi.
can't have the dinner when I'm on air. No.
Well, you could. If
Yeah,
you
well,
were
I can.
starving.
If you're going to talk about basketball for half an hour, I can eat the sausages, yeah.
Oh, anyway, they,
Oh, look at this. My daughter hasn't seen me all day. Have a hug.
You said I didn't give you enough hugs the other day.
Right, you can bring my dinner up if you do it quietly. Oh dear.
Is
You
that
can't
his
beat
secret
live. You
tips?
can't beat something that's live, can you?
So game 2 was against the City of Birmingham Rockets. So they had a double header at the weekend, and they played Birmingham away, and they lost that one,
I
97.
think that makes a lot of difference if you play away.
A huge difference, especially when it's quite a distance, because obviously you don't have your fans there. You don't have as much support.
How's that for a picture, by the way? Is it a bit better?
A bit better, yeah. You don't look so sepia.
Okay.
I thought maybe you had jaundice. So I was getting a bit worried.
Jaundice? Blimey. I definitely haven't got jaundice.
So the game on Sunday was a must-win game. What's that now?
That was my daughter. She's come in with my dinner. Now, my wife has said to me, because I've lost a lot of weight, I've got to keep my weight off. So I've been given.
Oh, okay. That looks
A bit of lettuce.
That
I've
looks
got
great.
a bit of salad.
Is that it? Just a lettuce leaf?
No, I've got lettuce and I've got sausage. So you carry on chatting and I'll just
Okay.
eat.
I'll carry on. You just munch on your lettuce leaf. Blooming hell. Anyway, they played Birmingham and they lost that game, which was unfortunate on last Saturday. And then, so they had a double header. They played again on Sunday away to Loughborough. Now, that was a must-win game. Whoever won that game was going to get through to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
And
Can I
thankfully,
just ask you, the teams that were in their group, were they all
Yeah.
D1 teams?
yes, in
In their
Breakers group, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they beat Loughborough,
This lettuce is
75
lovely, by the way.
crunch. I'm expecting some little rabbit ears to appear on your head soon.
It's all right, I've got sausage in a minute.
Yeah, don't eat that on the camera.
What?
People might think it's the wrong show. We're not only fans here, remember?
No, I know, but I mean, you never got my joke about the semi, so that went straight over your head.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
One person watching this show will get it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not comment live if it's inappropriate.
Come
Just
on, I'm intrigued about the basketball.
Yes, well, I keep getting interrupted with your lettuce. Stop.
Well, I'll have a bit of sausage then, shall I?
All right. So they won. They beat Loughborough, so that takes them through to the quarterfinals, which they play on Sunday this week. It's away again against Hemel Storm. Now, Hemel Storm, if you remember from last season, do you remember from last season?
They had an issue with them, didn't they?
Huh?
They had an issue with them last year, didn't they?
No, they didn't have an issue with them. They did play them last season in the semi-finals of the League Cup game.
Right.
And the Storm won.
Okay.
Now, the
But
Storm,
they're a D1 team, yeah?
they're a D1 team, and last season they won D1. Do you remember?
No.
Oh. I did say you to pay attention. There's going to be a quiz.
Yeah, but remember, the problem with basketball, they've all got two names.
Yes.
And I didn't grow up with basketball in Buckinghamshire or surrounding areas.
Right.
So I grew up with the Harlem Globetrotters. That was the only team I knew other than Crystal Palace.
Okay.
So, in fairness, I can't remember the names of all the teams other than the Milton Keynes Breakers and the ones that you remind me of.
Okay.
But I do remember there was Hemel Storm.
Yes.
Because they come from Hemley Bumstead.
Hemley Bumstead, they do. A very, very, very good team. Very good team.
Right, okay.
So the Breakers
So
have
better than
drawn
the
them.
Breakers.
Yeah, so they're going to play them on Sunday away. Tickets are available. I think it's a 6:00 tip-off for that one. But the league starts for the basketball on Saturday. So it's another double header for the Breakers. And they will be at home on Saturday with a 5:00 tip-off against the Richmond Knights. So all
And
these
Richmond
teams...
Knights is not a good name for Richmond.
No?
Not really.
Why?
Because, well, Richmond's a rather expensive area in southwest part of it, southwest area of London.
Yeah.
It runs along the Thames,
Yeah.
so there should have been something else, the Richmond something else. I don't think Lights sounds very good.
Oh, you've got to think about names this evening, haven't you?
Yeah, Richmond Ravers, I think, would have sounded a lot better.
Oh, blimey. Do you think they're ravers in Richmond?
Oh, God, yeah.
The posh... The
It's a
posh
lovely
ravers.
pub down there. You know.
So another double header.
Yeah.
We will...
Excuse me while I eat. I do apologise, but I haven't had lunch yet.
Okay, I've told you, be
Right.
careful with that sausage.
No, this is lettuce.
Oh, still eating lettuce. Okay.
I'm on a diet. I told you. I've got to get down to below 15 stone 10.
Okay.
Every single game I've refereed now, I've got down from about 16, 13
Yeah.
to 15, 12, 15, 11.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, my belly's nearly gone.
Yay.
Soon I'll be a size. Soon I'll be a size 0.
You wish, Steve.
No, I don't. I'd hate to be like that.
So that's...
So going on with the Milton Keynes Breakers. So let me get this straight. So they're now in the quarterfinals against Hemel, and they've got
Yeah.
to play a league match on Saturday.
Yes.
And if they were to beat Hemel,
Yes.
unlikely.
Yes.
But where's the game?
Don't know. Don't know where the semi-final's going to be.
Oh, no,
because
where's
we
the
don't know who
quarterfinal?
they're going to play.
Where's the quarterfinal with Hemel?
Oh, that's at Hemel.
Oh, right.
That's at Hemel Leisure
It's not
Centre.
very far to go though from Milton Keynes to Hemel.
No, it's not, thankfully. So I'll be going to both. I've just been accepted for media accreditation from Hemel Storm. So I will be doing live commentary for both Saturday and Sunday for the basketball.
So you're a busy girl this weekend.
I'll be a busy girl this weekend. And then, believe it or not, next weekend, the following weekend, so that will be the 7th and 8th of October, it's
Yeah, I
another
know that
double
weekend
header.
my wife celebrates her birthday.
It's Josh's birthday on the 8th, but it's
Yeah,
another
so-
double header. They've got a Saturday and a Sunday game again, both
Oh.
home games, and both league games, I think.
Wow.
So that's 3 weekends in a trot that they'll be playing double headers.
Double headers. It's not a bad thing at the beginning of the season, provided they don't get injuries, because it gets them all sort of match fit.
That's the thing. Providing they don't get injuries.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like they're doing all right. I mean, all joking aside, as much as I enjoyed playing basketball, and probably the most sports orientated game, my wife has stolen the mustard. I do think that obviously Milton Keynes have done quite well for themselves over the last 15 months.
Yeah.
And you've been there supporting them all the way along the line and promoting them, which is very, all joking aside. I know we have a giggle, but I think it's great because Milton Keynes, apart from being sort of centre of the UK, has got an average football team, let's be honest.
Yeah. Below average, actually.
Yeah. No, they're average because you've got to take into consideration, they're only a new side. They've only been around 20, 30 years.
Well, I suppose.
It's not like having a team playing in the same division who was a founding member of the Football League, for example. So,
Yes.
It's good for Milton Keynes, it's good for the people, it's good for Buckinghamshire. It is a good thing, and it's really good that you've been there supporting them all the way through. As you are, that's your kind of character anyway. You are, well, I wasn't going to say that, but you are, you got...
My dogs agree.
Can you tell that bitch to be quiet? And, you're very supportive of it, and that's a good thing. It's something that's close to your heart, and I always find that very commendable in anybody when they do anything that they really love doing. You might not do it brilliantly as far as someone else is concerned, but you do it because you love it.
I'm a damn. Okay, I'm going to say something now, and it's going to sound really bad, but I watched the live stream of the 2 away games this weekend at Birmingham and at Loughborough, and I've got to say, their commentators were good, don't get me wrong, but
they're doing a good job.
No atmosphere. They don't bring it.
No, that's my point. You might do yours very well, and I will turn around and say to you, that was really, really good. Someone else might think, well, I'm better than that, and not think it's so good. And that's what I mean. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point I was getting at. It's very commendable that you do it. And I know the basketball's inside, obviously, indoor. It doesn't really matter how cold it is outside. But you and I both know you've done an awful lot of football matches with Perishing as well.
Yeah.
So, and I say it without sounding sexist, to be a woman in a man's world
ain't easy.
And no, and then sort of sticking a thumb up to someone saying, "Hey, mate, I can do this."
Yeah.
and persistently and consistently pushing yourself to do it. It's really a good thing, and I know away from sports with the work as well, it's how your character is. That is the way you are. It's probably part of the reason your husband finds you wonderful.
Oh, bless.
Don't start crying now, for God's sake. I was just being nice once. Just once a year I've got to be nice.
You're no longer sepia. It's okay. You're not sepia anymore.
You're not sepia anymore.
No, I do appreciate that. I like local sports. I like to promote locals. That's why I started the show on CRM all those years ago to help promote local sports and, the lower leagues in football, tennis, the rugby, the ice hockey. They don't get a much of a mention, out there.
Neighbour's dog?
I have no idea what's going on with them. There's obviously something, but
I mean, it's so unprofessional. We're having a conversation. I mean, I wouldn't eat or drink on air. Why the hell are they making that happen?
Or give your daughter a hug live on air, would you? You wouldn't do that, Steve, would you?
No, look, I'm still
got your lettuce. You go suck on your lettuce,
I've got
dude.
salad as well. Look, with a bit of pepper.
So anybody who's got some free time on Saturday and Sunday, do get down to Bletchley Leisure Centre. It is the Richmond Knights on Saturday in a league game, 5:00 tip-off.
Oh, Richmond Knights. I thought you said Richmond Lights with an L.
Oh no, night. Oh, do you know what? It's probably because I got a cold.
It might be partially for that, but it's also I'm now 71 and my hearing's going a bit. So
Oh yeah, we'll blame you instead of me. I think that's better.
yeah, I normally get the blame.
Yeah, Richmond Knights. Richmond Knights. Not
Right.
Richmond sausages, the Richmond.
No, these aren't Richmond sausages. These
Okay.
sausages actually come from the best butchers. They're not. It's not that far from you.
Oh, okay.
Upper Shelton or Lower Shelton.
Don't eat with your mouth full. That's rude.
I know.
And then it goes away, pardon me, to Hemel Storm at Hemel Leisure Centre on the Sunday, 6 o'clock tip-off for that one. If you cannot make either game, I will be streaming the commentary live on YouTube. So head to the Sports Deck YouTube channel. You could be watching us now on the YouTube channel, and we will
Watching
be
me
going,
eat, you mean?
yeah. And we'll be
If I was
going
eating now,
live.
I'll pass out, so I don't care. I've got to tonight.
So that is the basketball. Just a
Right.
quick recap on Saturday's AFC Dunstable game. So I did
Yeah, what happened in
commentary.
that game?
Yeah, did commentary for that one. It was a home game at Creasy Park. It was the FA Trophy game for them,
Yeah.
and they were playing a team called Brightlingsea.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting game, very interesting
Who
game.
refereed it?
What?
Do you know who refereed it?
A man?
You got a program, haven't you?
No, not with me.
Oh,
No, I just get
I'm
given
not-
team sheets. I don't get a program.
but you must know who the referee is. It says on the referee, doesn't it?
It probably does, but I don't have it now.
Yeah, I like to know the rest because some of the referees who I've sort of engaged with over the last 3-4 years, some of them now will be level 4 refs or levels going 4 to 3, and they'll do those games now. And you know, it's one of the kids who I refereed with a few years back. He refereed Luton Town on Saturday. No, I'm not saying I particularly get on with all of these people, but I like to see them do well and progress.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
as I
next
always do for everybody.
next time I'll remember that, and I will definitely keep the team sheet and then let you know who the ref is.
Yeah, I mean, I may not know who it is, but you get the odd one, and I will know who it is.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that they're doing well. Some of the kids are still refereeing with me and are alternating between Beds Prem and Spartan Southern Midland First Division or Prem Division. So, or sometimes do the women's football.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll definitely remember that.
Okay.
But it was the
You'll
FA.
remember it, will you?
Yeah, it was the FA Trophy game. Very interesting. Dunstable started off really brightly, and they went in at half time 1-0 up. Cameron Cook, the goal scorer for AFC Dunstable. Cameron Cook. Yeah.
Where's in midfield, yeah?
Yeah. Do you know the name?
Rings a bell.
Okay. Decent little player, to be fair. He's one of the Varsity 9 Academy players, and he's going to be going off to the States next year. So, yeah, he scored the first goal for Dunstable Town in the first half. Second half, Brightlingsea came out all guns blazing. Managed to get the equaliser early in the second half. Managed to get the equaliser. Then Dunstable scored about 10 minutes later. So they went 2-1 up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really bizarre, the last 5 minutes of the game. So it was about 10 minutes extra time played at the end of the game.
That's normal. We're all getting that.
We're all getting that, exactly. 5 minutes left to play in the game. One of the Dunstable substitutes went down, injured, and then, I don't know, maybe had a bit of a panic attack, not too sure, but anyway, couldn't breathe. So he came off. Dunstable had used all their subs, so couldn't bring anyone on. So they were then playing the last 5 minutes.
It's head protocol.
Huh?
I think it's head protocol they can.
Yeah, he didn't go down with a head injury.
Right.
So, last 5 minutes of the game, he went off. Nobody could come on for Dunstable, so they were playing with a man down. And Brightlingsea scored, and just managed to clamber away with it. Unfortunate, unfortunate.
No,
But I got to say, but this AFC Dunstable team, they are a really young side, really, really young side. They haven't got anybody over the age of, I think it's 23, 24. Most of their players are teenagers because they're all from the Varsity 9 Academy. So considering that, they are, they've got a lot to learn because they are a young team.
experience.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was they had a lot of mistakes in the second half, which lost them possession and gave Brightlingsea possession back very, very easily.
Yeah.
And because of that, Brightlingsea got back into the game. So it was an unfortunate one, but that's the way it goes. So they are out of the FA Trophy now, and I don't think they go into the Vars.
Why not?
I don't know. I've seen the fixtures for the FA Vars first round, and I cannot see them in it.
They may have got a bye. Unlikely.
Possibly.
They may not have entered it.
I thought if you got knocked out of the FA Cup and the FA Trophy, you get put into the Vars. No.
To be honest with you, the FA changed its rules so often. I have no idea anymore.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Obviously, senior level is different, but I'm not sure at semi-pro or amateur level whether or not that happens. Maybe. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
I can't answer that one. I could look it up. Depends if I can finish my last bit of letters.
We will try and find out if that's the case, because the fixtures are out for the FA Vars first round, and they're not in it. So
do you know what day that is?
That some of them are middle of October, some are end of October.
Right, because I've been given one on the 4th of November, and I thought that correlated with the refs being away in the higher leagues, so I don't know, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
No.
I don't know. We'll see if we can find out.
I don't normally get put on a game 6 or 8 weeks in advance, but this one I got put on, only 4 weeks ago, near enough.
Wow.
That's unusual.
Yeah, that is unusual. That is unusual. So we'll see, but at the moment they are out of the FA Trophy. They do have. Where's he gone?
That's who mark my finger.
They've got 2 away games now, tomorrow and Saturday for the league. So that in a way it's maybe not a bad thing that they can just focus on the league because they're doing okay.
That's what we're saying at Tottenham.
Well, I'm just, I'm thinking if maybe because they are so young, just focus on the league and
experience. Listen, it's experience.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody was watching, and I'm really sorry I did have to eat, but if you've been 10 hours without anything to eat, you do get to the stage when you're absolutely starving.
We can't have you fainting live on air. That wouldn't look good.
I actually fainted. Well, I wouldn't call it. I passed out at work once. I hadn't eaten or slept for about 3 days, and I was sitting in the office. I hadn't been home, and I just literally went, bashed me head against the computer.
Oh my word!
I was in hospital.
Oh dear.
Exhaustion, but I had worked 71 of the previous 72 hours.
That's why you got to look after yourself.
I was a young man in those days, and I used to do some ridiculous shifts at work.
Yeah.
I can recall 20-odd years ago, 25 years ago, I'd go to work on Christmas Eve, and I'd come home sometime on Boxing Day, and I would have had about an hour and a half off just to have a bit of Christmas lunch.
Good grief.
Well, the thing is, in those days doing a taxi, you had all the nurses going to hospital and they didn't have any transport. And part of the sort of charity bit in me was always that I think it would be important to get these people in, because there's a lot of other people at Christmas Day who are ill in hospital, couldn't do the things they wanted to do. Whereas I felt in my 30s that, I could pretty well do all the things I wanted to do, not maybe financially, but I was healthy and everything else. And I just thought, well, yes, I am getting paid, but I'm giving up my time so that some poor kid or some mother who's got a kid can go and see them in hospital. The nurse is there. If there's a problem, they can have a little bit of Christmas time together rather than feel someone's in hospital on Christmas Day. It's not the time to be in hospital if you can help it.
No, that's very commendable.
So, I just felt that's so it was. And I did it for about 15 years. And therefore, nowadays, as you know, I do a fair bit of charity stuff. I've always wanted to make sure that, not that I'm religious, but there but for the grace of God go I. I feel I'm pretty healthy. Yes, there are other people a lot less fortunate, and do your little bit that you can, and that's it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, better that you're taking care of yourself now.
Yeah, apart from getting my tooth fixed again, I actually feel fantastic. I mean, mentally, I'm absolutely creamy crackers, because since we come back from holiday, I was looking in my diary. I've averaged so far. This is teaching hours, so this isn't getting to and from work. This is just teaching. I'm averaging 27 and a half hours a week teaching, and that's a lot. Really.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. It's about 40 hours on the road. So that's really taking consideration about bearing in mind, for every hour you're teaching on the road, that's the same as at least 2 hours of normal work.
Yeah,
so that's 55-hour weeks, and then travelling to and from as well. They're clocking up 65, 70 hours, and they're tough at the moment. I've got 5 weeks left of it, and then, or less than 5 now, and then it's sort of not sleepy time, but less stress.
Less stress.
Yeah.
We'll like that. Less stress. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have the quiz.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to go on to the rugby.
What's that?
Rugby. The World Cup.
Not seen anything.
Okay.
Have absolutely in it.
Okay. Well, that's why you've got me, so I can fill you in.
Yeah, you can fill me in. But I'll tell you what, how bad this is, right? Because this is absolute gospel, okay? So, I don't tell porkies. I do know it's going on, because I have a very good friend of mine in Marseille at the moment who's been watching England, but I don't know where England are playing. So, I assume they're in Marseille, but I have no idea. But I can honestly say, I do not know any score from any match, and I'll be even more bold and say, with the exception of Ireland, South Africa, France, England, Wales, and Scotland, and Italy, that I know must be in it, there'll be at least 3 teams or 4 teams who are left in it who I have absolutely no idea even played rugby. So you're probably going to catch me out with the scores and who played it, and I will have absolutely no idea, but we'll have a bit of fun at my expense, because I know that you like to have a bit of a giggle. But before we do that, and when I say I genuinely mean I'm on my last forkful, I'm going to give you a clue about a really, really famous sports person, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So, because it's time as well, we're going to do 2 clues together. So, I was born in Long Beach, California.
Okay.
And I was born in 1943. So, if that helps you, I don't know.
No, don't help me, but that's okay. We'll get it on number 3.
No, you won't.
Okay. Number 4 then. All right.
Maybe.
So, Rugby World Cup. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning, but we will start kind of.
Well, you can go backwards from where we are now.
Yeah.
You go backwards, and I'll guess who the scores are, but I might not know that some of the teams in it, and that's the gospel truth. And I promise you, when I say this, I'm not being ignorant
Yeah.
because I'm well aware there's a lot of teams that have played rugby. But my last 6, 7 weeks since I've come back from holiday, I have been literally flat out, and I've ignored the TV. I've missed so many things, literally because it's been work. But I've done it because at the end of October, it's a
Calmer.
massive weight off my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, to be fair, it's still group stages and things like that. So I'll go back to the weekend of the 16th. I won't go through all the scores, but
No, but try it because go back. What's the last game that happened? Was it today or yesterday? I
the
don't know.
last game was yesterday.
Okay, so who played somebody yesterday?
So Wales played Australia yesterday. So that was a big game. Yeah,
Okay,
two heavy
so-
hitters there.
That Welsh bloke, what's his face? Oh God, he was England manager, wasn't he?
Ooh,
The bloke, the Welsh, the Australian fella.
you said the Welsh fella.
No, the Australian guy wasn't he the England manager?
We've had a New Zealand manager.
No, the guy who was manager of England a
Yeah.
few years ago wasn't he Australian? Isn't
No.
he the Australian manager?
No, he's from New Zealand. Oh, I'm sure he's from New
Eddie
Zealand.
Jones? Is it Eddie Jones?
Yeah, that's him.
He's Australian.
I thought it was the New Zealand manager.
No, he's Australian. Is he? No, he's Australian. I'm sure he's
Okay.
Australian.
Oh,
Anyway,
well,
Wales played Australia. Okay,
Wales
so
played Australia yesterday, and unanimous win for Wales. They won 40.
Oh, you told me. Well, I didn't know that. I was going to tell you what the score was.
Oh, go on then. Oh, sorry. All right. How many did
I haven't got a
Australia
clue now,
get?
but you just said Wales won, so I'm going to go. I didn't even hear what you said, so
Go on then. Wales won. What was the score?
36-10.
46.
46 what?
No, Australia only scored 6.
Oh, only got. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're crap. Not many Aussies be crap at
Yeah,
everything.
they're not doing very well. They really aren't very,
Okay.
very, very well. So, also yesterday, Scotland played Tonga.
Tonga?
Yeah. So, what was the
well,
score?
Well, Scotland must have won. They're not good at much, the Sweaties, but I imagine they must have won that. So, 42-10.
Oh, not far off. 45-17.
Okay. Well,
Not
Scotland
bad.
won.
Not bad. Not bad.
Scotland won, yeah?
Scotland did win. So, Saturday,
Right.
South Africa played Ireland. Now, South Africa,
They won it up before, I know that.
they
But
won the
somebody
last
told
World
me
Cup.
The Irish team's really, really good.
Yeah,
In
so
fact, one of
South
my
Africa.
friends said to me, no, Ireland's very good.
So,
So I'm
two
going to go
real
a
heavy
close game.
hitters.
I'm going to go a close game. I think Ireland would have won. How many points did you get for try? 5, isn't it?
3. Well, 3 and then a conversion.
A try's only 3 now.
3 and then 2 points for the conversion.
You only get 3 points for a try.
Yeah, and then 2 for the
5 points for
conversion.
a try. No, 5 points for a try, isn't it? 3 and you get a kick for 3 points, don't you?
Oh, Jesus. Steve, you're confusing me.
No, when you get a try, I'm sure it's 5 points for a try. That I'm sure of, and 2
Well done.
points for a conversion. Well, that's what it was, and 3 if you kick it over. You know, when you're running along and you drop it on the end of your foot, sort of thing, and kick it over.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, that's 3 points. Anyway, I think close game, so I'll go Ireland. Ireland 17, South Africa 10.
Not too bad. Ireland 13, South Africa 8.
How did you get 8?
Well, they must have had some little kickies going on.
How did you get 8?
Well, I don't know. That's what they scored.
Oh, they must have had a try, not
Yeah.
converted it, and then had
Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah,
Then
yeah. Okay.
yeah. So Ireland won.
13-8. That's not very entertaining, is it?
No. Well, yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game, but yeah, Ireland came out victors.
When was that then?
That was Saturday.
Oh, I was refereeing, so
Okay. Also, England played on Saturday, and
Did
they
they?
played Chile.
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 Nice.
So, what's your score prediction on that one?
I didn't know Chile played rugby.
They do.
Oh. Well, I assume England would have won. So, and I didn't know Chile played rugby, so I'll give Chile 7 points. I think they might have scored something. And I suppose England would have won fairly easily because I've never heard of Chile playing rugby. So, 59-7.
Oh, you're well out. Well out. 71 to England, 0 to Chile.
Are you sure Chile turned up?
Well, maybe it was their B team or their C team, or I don't know. But yeah, they didn't get on the score sheet in that game.
Okay, well,
Not good.
That was, no, I told you I didn't know Chile played rugby. So there you go. All right.
And one other game played on Saturday was Georgia, Portugal.
Rugby?
Yes, sir. We're talking about the Rugby World Cup.
Jesus, I didn't know Georgia had a rugby team. I didn't know Portugal had a rugby team.
Did you
Oh,
know
my
England,
goodness.
Ireland, Scotland, and Wales have a rugby team?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I told you those four, and Italy, and South Africa, and
Just
Australia,
checking.
and the Barbarians. I know they have a rugby team, and the All Blacks. What? I
Just
think that
checking.
Fiji or something. They played rugby once or twice, I think.
Yeah, they're in it.
But I didn't know Georgia played rugby. And I
Okay.
certainly didn't know Portugal played rugby. Not a clue. I wouldn't have a guess. I could guess, but I wouldn't be. 20
Okay.
against 15.
Okay, 18 apiece.
Oh, well, I guessed 2015. I got nearly the amount of points right. Okay.
So not too bad. Not too
Right.
bad. And
How
then
long is this going on for?
Huh?
How long is this blooming World Cup going on for?
It goes on until that'll be the group stages. Finish about the 8th of October, and then you get into the quarterfinals, semi-finals, blah 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 blah.
Amazing. They think they're fit at rugby. They're only able to play once a week.
Exactly, compared to basketball. Okay, so
And
coming
there are about
up,
30 of them as well, you know, in that squad.
I know, right? Massive. So coming up, the big games are Friday, the 29th. We've got New Zealand, Italy.
That's not a big game.
It
New
is a
Zealand
big
are winning.
game. New Zealand are not doing very well at all, to be fair.
You're joking.
No, they're not. Okay, they did beat Namibia very well, but France beat New Zealand.
Namibia?
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
tell-
don't tell me.
How
I
they
do not
got
know
one?
everything. So France beat New Zealand in the opening game, 27-13.
Well, aren't they? Well, France are at home, aren't they? It's a bit of an advantage, isn't it?
I know, but they're not having the greatest of time at the moment, New Zealand.
Okay.
But they are playing Italy on Friday. And then we've got Scotland,
Well, I would think
Romania.
that the Kiwis would win that.
You think New Zealand will win?
I would have thought so.
Probably. They probably will. And then on Saturday you've got
The problem the
Scotland.
Italians have too much pasta.
Too many carbs. That's not good.
Yeah,
Pasta
too-
and bread. Saturday, Scotland, Romania.
Romania?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Blimey.
It's a World
They're
Cup.
all about 5'4" tall in Romania. What chance have they got?
On Saturday, you've got Australia, Portugal.
Well, that's a home win for Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, and also on Sunday is South Africa, Tonga.
Well, South Africa got to win that one.
you hope. And then we go into the following week, so we don't really need to know about that right
When
now.
does England play next? Who are they playing?
Oh, they will play on Saturday, the 7th of October. They play Samoa.
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 They've
But
probably got grass skirts on, for God's sake. Yeah, Dave.
but on the 7th of October, we also have Ireland, Scotland play each other. So
Well, Ireland probably win because they beat South Africa, didn't they?
probably. So as it stands in Pool A, top two teams are France and Italy, and New Zealand in third. Told you New Zealand not doing too good this World Cup.
Right.
Okay. Pool B, Ireland are top, South Africa are second, and Scotland are third.
Has Scotland got to play South Africa?
I think they do. Scotland's only played 2, and Ireland and South Africa have both played 3.
How many's in the group?
5 in each group.
They play 4 games. Okay.
Yeah. So,
So,
Pool B,
so these superb human beings are able to play once a week because they're unable, and France isn't a big country, so they're unable to play, for example, every 4 or 5 days. Yet
Yes.
professional footballers are expected to play every 3 or 4 days in a World Cup. Unbelievable.
and basketball players are expected to have double headers 3 weekends in a row.
And professional basketball players play 6 days a week.
There you go. So Pool B, still everything to play for. Pool C, Wales are leading that one, and then you've got, who is that? Fiji, I think it is. Yeah, then you've got Fiji.
You've gone on mute. You've muted yourself.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What did you say?
So Pool C, Wales is on top of Pool C. Then you've got Fiji, and then you've got Australia.
Wales, Fiji. Are they any good, Fiji?
Well,
They've probably got grass skirts on as well, haven't they?
They seem to be doing not bad. So Wales and Australia have both played 3 games. Fiji have only played 2, and they're sitting second in the group.
Has Fiji played Australia?
I don't know. I'd have to go all the way back.
See, you've got to give me a bit more info because rugby for me is an exhilarating game, yeah? Running around watching them kick an egg.
But this is interesting.
All right.
Australia's points difference is minus 21.
Right.
And Fiji's points difference is 1.
Yeah, but, well, it depends who beats who, I suppose, when they play each other. But
It does. So everything to play for in Pool C. And in Pool D, England are on top with a maximum points, 14. And then you've got Samoa, and then you've got Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Right. Just as a point of interest for the uninitiated, which includes me,
Yeah.
you said there were 5 teams in each group, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've mentioned about 4 countries I didn't even know had a rugby team. No, really, I promise you. I know Japan plays rugby. I know that.
Yeah.
And I knew that Fiji played rugby, and I
Yeah.
vaguely remember Samoa playing rugby,
Yeah.
and Tonga played rugby.
Yeah.
I never for one moment knew Georgia or Portugal played rugby.
Yeah.
Are Spain in it?
Argentina's in Pool D, but they're in 4th.
Are Spain in it?
No.
Well,
So
they don't play rugby.
Do you want me to go through all the countries?
Just because I'd like to be humoured, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
France, Italy, New Zealand, Uruguay, Namibia. That's Pool A.
Right.
And in that order.
Well, Namibia is just north of South Africa.
I know, yeah.
And it's sort of northeast. It's got a Dutch heritage because the capital of Namibia is called Windhoek.
Mm.
they play cricket internationally. They're not very good, but they play at Wembley Stadium. I know that because it's a proper sport. Okay, so right, go on. Yeah,
Okay, so Pool B in order: Ireland, South Africa, Scotland, Tonga, and Romania.
yeah. I thought the Romanians were only good at doing wine, so I'm surprised they play rugby.
Well,
Right?
they're
Yeah.
having a go at the rugby, and I've got to
Right.
say, not great. Their points difference is minus 150.
In other words, they are Tom Tit, right? Okay.
But they're trying. They're trying.
Yeah, very. Thanks for popping in. Right, okay.
Pool C is in order again: Wales, Fiji, Australia, Georgia, and Portugal.
God, what a rubbishy group.
So
Yeah.
that's Pool C. And in Pool D, you've got England, Samoa, Japan, Argentina, and Chile.
Chile. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned Chile, right?
There you go.
So who I left off that I thought played rugby? Where's America?
They don't play rugby, they play American football.
No, I know they play American football. What about Canada? They must play rugby.
Don't know. I don't think I've ever seen them in a World Cup. You get a lot of the southern hemispheres, you know, the Samoas and those kind of Tongas and
Yeah. Well, that's all New Zealand side, isn't it?
yeah. But I don't remember Canada.
I thought they played rugby, but
Yeah.
they're not good at much anyway. The Canadians, so.
Well, I haven't got any Canadians listening.
Well, no, but they can play ice hockey. They're not good at a lot, are they?
Oh, they are good at ice hockey. Yeah, they are.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
What else are they good at? Fishing?
Maybe. Oh, they do a lot of winter sports, don't they?
Yeah, that's true. They do winter sports.
Yeah,
But I
they
think
do.
normal sports, I don't think they're any good at much of that stuff. Swimming,
Yeah.
maybe.
Swimming.
Athletics.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a few good. Well, they had a very good athlete, but he cheated.
Oh, so it wasn't
Ben
that
Johnson.
good. It wasn't that
Ben Johnson.
good. Okay. So that's it. So that's the Rugby World Cup roundup.
Oh, brilliant! Do you know what? Managed to have my dinner, a cup of hazelnut coffee, and 53 minutes later, I've basically listened to about basketball and rugby, and it's cheered me up no end.
Yay! You've been educated.
Well, rugby for me has never been a go-to sport. It's so far down. If England was in the final, I'll be honest enough to say I would watch it because England's in the final. But
Yeah.
if I knew they were in the final, I'd watch it. But if I didn't know, if I didn't know it was on,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think. Oh, I must set my alarm clock for whatever time it is if I didn't know it was on. It doesn't. I just can't get into rugby. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I am. I like my golf. I like my football.
Yeah.
I like my cricket and my snooker and my horse racing and
Yeah.
my greyhounds that I've got. I don't really care for the other stuff. It's a load of old I love the NFL, but my team is absolutely diarrhea. So, well, I'm being honest.
No, that's fair enough.
Absolutely. We got stuffed last night at Kansas City by about, I think we were 41-0 down before they decided to retire. And
Oh
then
my
they-
word.
points. Yeah, but we're dross in the drossiest division in the NFL as well. Yeah, that's how crap it is. So when somebody says to me, I still support my team, but believe you me,
Oh no.
absolutely. The thing is, I look at the NFL and there are 5 teams that I think they always look good when I watch them. 1 or 2 flatter to deceive, but I always like watching them. So Kansas City, I like watching.
Yeah.
I do like watching them. I like watching the Buffalo Bills. I always think the Bills are good watch. I hate to say it because they're not my team, but Philadelphia always pretty decent. I like the 49ers to watch because I like the way they play. They're very, very attack-minded team. So those four I like, and then of course I support the Bears, but they're a load of old toot. And then I quite like watching Arizona. They do give you a bit of ups and downs. So I used to like watching the Saints, but once Drew Brees stopped playing, I lost interest in the Saints.
I like Kansas.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is a really, really, really good player. Is that the bitch that's been making all that noise?
No, this is my little Manzi.
Oh, that's a man, is it?
This is Manzi. No, his name is
All right.
Kobe.
Toby.
Yeah. He's come to say hello.
Well, hello, Toby.
Kobe!
It's a family. Huh?
Look, Kobe, his name is.
Oh, Kobe. I told you I was deaf.
See, as in Kobe Bryant, the boys named him.
Yeah, well, that was tragic.
Yeah, it was very tragic.
That was tragic. Yeah,
Yes.
that was really tragic. I mean, unfortunately,
Yeah.
can you say he wasn't old, and
No.
that was sad. That was sad. See, but I know that's basketball. That's professional basketball. So I do pay a bit of attention. I watch Sky Sports. That's it. That's what I know. In the evening, I doze off while Sky Sports is going on. I went to bed last night at 1:45, and it's only because I had to go to the dentist this morning, so I didn't have a lesson first thing. And I nodded off for about 10 minutes, having not realised that when it got back to the loop, I was watching the same thing I'd seen for 10 minutes.
Oh,
And I
no.
think again.
Oh, no.
I thought to myself, have I just seen what I just saw? I don't know. I can't remember if I've
Was
seen
it
it.
that interesting?
I saw 3 reruns of the Solheim Cup.
So Kobe saying hello. So give me another question, please.
Oh, yeah. So, right. So, this person's born in Long Beach, California in 1943.
Yes.
And this person won almost $2 million in their field in sport.
Oh, okay.
So that didn't really help you, did it?
Not really. 2 million.
No. So
That could be golf, or that could be. Oh,
So this person won 129 titles, but only 67 of them were during the Open era.
Open era.
Hmm.
Is that the Golf Open?
I didn't say that.
Oh. Okay. Like the US Open thing? No?
Could be.
Could be. Okay. All right.
Hasn't helped you so far, no?
No. No.
Hmm.
How many questions we got left?
You can have as many as you want.
I still won't get it.
Well, you should do, because the clues get easier, yeah?
Yes. Okay.
So, I have to be somewhat tricky in the way I ask it, because otherwise it gives it away a bit too easily, If I ask you a quiz and someone's watching it and they're thinking, I might be that person and it might be that one, and it gets a bit too easy and they get it on the first go, it kind of spoils it,
It does. It does. Okay. All right. So it may or may not be to do with the US Open.
The US Open's definitely got something to do with it.
Oh, it has. So it is a golfer. Oh no, it could be a tennis player. It could
So
be.
now you've got to think.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking now.
Well, Monday at 8 o'clock's about the time you do wake up.
Right. So we've done the basketball. We've done the Rugby World Cup. What's left, Steve?
Well, we're about to embark on the World 50 overs in the ODI cricket.
Okay.
So England are the world champions,
Yep.
and they're basically putting out their C team and wiping the floor with Ireland.
Wow.
So, they're doing. I think England will be a threat, but of course the problem is when you play in India, I don't want to cause grief here because it might come across as a little bit inconsistent to how I believe it, but I think the test wickets in India are a disgrace.
What
They're
makes them so bad?
manipulated. Pardon?
What makes them so bad?
Well, the last time England visited India, England lost the first test because the wicket was if you bat first, you win. But you can't take that chance that you're going to call correctly as captain every time. So England won the second test, and deservedly so, for almost exactly the same reason. It was exactly black and white. First test, they lost the toss. Second test, they won the toss. So the Indians needed to win the series 3-1 in order to stay in the top 2 in the world rankings to play in the World Test Final.
Okay.
So the third test match and the fourth test match were played at the same ground because it was just after COVID, but it was during the end of COVID, if that makes sense. And the cricket authorities in India, the BCCI, they like to hold the rest of the cricketing world to ransom. The Indians are as stubborn as they can possibly be about everything. And this isn't me being racist or anti-Indian, but when everyone said they needed to bring DRS in, they didn't want to bring it in. When everyone said they have to have neutral umpires, they didn't want to bring it in. So they've begrudgingly been told in the nicest possible way, which is not how I would have told them. I'd have said, look, if you want to be affiliated to World Cricket, the ICC, you do the same as the other 9 countries and suck it and see. But they're a bit too polite, and I'm a bit more do what you're bloody told or don't bother. And that's how I am, and I've always been that way in life. I can't stand all this faffing about. Either make a decision this way and stick with it or go that way and stick with it. But don't, I'd never be a good lawyer because I'd probably threaten to kill someone and end up being banged up myself. But trying to be reasonable about this, they were very slow to agree to the world agreement on all the cricketing topics. And they are as slippery as they can possibly be about things. I'm not saying they haven't got great players because they have got some fantastic cricketers. No one denies that.
Yeah.
But what I don't like, and I've always said this, Test cricket is Test cricket because it is a test. It's a test of endurance, it's a test of time, it's a test of playing conditions, and it's a test in the change in conditions within a test match. That is why it's called Test cricket. It is the truest form of cricket. Whilst I appreciate that 30, 40 years ago, you will get test matches that are drawn because people played so slowly and they didn't want to make a game of it. Thankfully, we're not living in that era anymore, and there are very few test matches that are drawn. If they are, it's normally nowadays because the weather's intervened too much.
Okay.
Usually, if it's a draw nowadays, that's the reason. It's very rare for a test match to be drawn unless the wicket is so benign that you can go and bat with a toothpick. So, to make test cricket entertaining, you want a test match where the bat and ball have equal opportunity. If the ball is slightly in favour, I think most people would accept that.
Okay.
What you don't want is to be playing on a minefield like the West Indies have had in the past, or what the Indians produced, because on the third test match they produced a red wicket, which meant that it was going to take spin. And India fortunately won the toss, and on the first day it was, if you like, not as red as it turned out to be. Indians scored quite quickly, but a test match that lasts barely 2 full days is not a test match. Not when 2 very level sides play each other. And this particular match, India Root took 5 wickets for about 20 runs or something, and India were about 100 odd for about 2 and 200 all out. And you think to yourself, wow, England can win this match. and England were bowled out for peanuts because the wicket was turning right angles. Then India went into bat again and were bowled out again, and then bowled England out for peanuts again. And to have a test match that lasts 2 days and for the English captain to turn around and go, well, we lost to the better team of the day, that's absolute crap. He should have said, we lost this match because the wicket wasn't good enough. And he should have actually said the truth and told the truth. And he would have stood by that because everyone who watched it knew the wicket wasn't good enough. And it wasn't test standard. And if you're going to cheat, which is cheating, that's borderline cheating, you're telling a groundsman to provide a wicket guaranteed that you can't play on it. That's not right.
Yeah.
And they did it, and the second and the fourth match was like that, exactly, almost identical at the same ground, but hadn't been manufactured quite as much. Had India lost the third Test match, I guarantee you they'd have doctored the wicket even more for the last one. Now, the problem with the World Test rankings, and this has always been my goat, England are the biggest draw in World Test cricket. So when they have the Ashes, they play 5 Tests with Australia. Over the last 30 years, for most of the last 30 years, Australia's been the world's best team. Not saying that India hasn't been top for a few years, or that New Zealand was top for 10 minutes, or that England was top for 2 years, but predominantly it's been Australia. In the 80s and 90s, when Warne and McGrath were playing, after the West Indians were so hostile and so brilliant, the West Indies declined. Australia became number one, and they were number one for around about 15, 16, 17 years. In that time, England played Australia every other year, 5 Tests. But India, oh no, we don't want to get thumped. We'll play you for 2 Tests. We'll go and play you at home for 2 Tests. So they couldn't lose a lot of points because they're only playing the best team
twice
4 Tests in 6 years.
Wow.
Right? Whereas England are playing 10 Tests effectively in a 3-year cycle, effectively, maybe 4-year cycle, depending on the slight changes in the time of the year.
Yeah.
So if you're playing, it's like if you play the best team in the Premier League, Man City, and you're Luton Town, and you've got to play Man City 10 times in the season, you're getting thumped nine times for sure. You might get a win or a draw in the other game, yeah? Whereas if you're a good side and you think, well, I'm only playing them twice, you're less likely to get into trouble. So the statistics didn't match up with the games that they were playing. And when you're playing the weak teams and you're beating the hell out of them because it's nice and easy, that's not realistic. And, they adopted an attitude of we'll play one-day cricket because the fans in India want one-day cricket. But again, this is where the ICC bows down to them all the time. Look, make this World Trophy correct. You play every team home and away, 4 matches. That's the deal. So if England plays Australia, they can agree to have an extended 2 matches because you could play the Test series with the Ashes for 6 Test matches in England or in Australia. No problem. You'll get the crowds, you'll get the support, and you'll get a fantastic series. I know the Australians think they were fantastic this summer. They won the first Test. They played well, and England were a bit inept with their attitude. The second Test, they struck home. They won, but they played, for me, not particularly within the laws of the game with the Bairstow situation. They got smashed in the third Test match. They would have lost the fourth Test match, but it rained for a day and 3/4, and England only needed 3 or 4 wickets to win. And England would have won that easily, and England won the 5th Test. So the Aussies got away with it. And, they always go, well, we keep winning in Australia. Blimey, one of the series they won was after COVID, and England weren't allowed even a practice match. You can't play cricket without having practice. So that should have been a void series. That was never fair. You can't have you're away, you can't play anybody. It's ridiculous,
So why do they have all these kind of rules or regulations that seem unfair or it's not even across the board for all teams?
Well, look, if India play Pakistan, they could play them 4 Tests home, 4 Tests away, and there would be fantastic support in both countries. If they play Bangladesh, who have improved, there's no doubt that India would beat Bangladesh, and so would probably Pakistan. However, you give some of your lesser players an opportunity to play, your squad players to play, and as you know, people get older and they retire, and other people come in, or people get injured, bowlers especially. You've got ready-made replacement.
Mm.
So those series are actually a good idea. And the team that's getting beaten, although they're getting beaten probably quite convincingly, maybe in 3 or 4 days, it helps them to improve by seeing where they're going wrong. So
Okay.
naturally, you get a closing of the gap between the top and the bottom. Currently, the top 4 sides, of which England are one of those, India and Australia, the top 3. I think New Zealand are 4th at the moment in the rankings. You look at them and you couldn't pick a winner if they played each other simultaneously. It's very difficult to pick a winner. A lot of the time, it's the conditions. The beautiful thing in England is you've got, in my opinion, the best conditions, because you've got swing, you've got cloud, you've got sun, you've got dry, you've got a bit of wetness in the atmosphere. So dampen the atmosphere, and you get a different type of cricket here. You go to India, unless it rains, it's absolutely guaranteed to be 40 degrees, maybe more, and the wicket's bone dry, and if you bat first, you can't lose. And if you know, that's not a game of cricket, batting foot can't lose. That's like saying in football, well, we won the toss, we won the game every time.
Yeah.
It becomes it becomes apathy. You don't, well, I can't be that bothered.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. The West Indies, when you go to the West Indies, I mean, they do have a variant with this with their summer, but it's traditionally quite warm in the West Indies, and the wickets out there aren't that great. Sabina Park, when some of the England players nearly got killed in Jamaica, was a prime example. It was a death trap, and that's not the idea of a game of cricket. You're not supposed to kill someone. The wickets in Australia tend to be pretty quick, and they're quite good. But they don't play at 1 or 2 of the grounds that they could play at because they think they wouldn't get a crowd, but they would. England fans go anywhere to watch Test cricket.
Mm.
The Kiwis don't play enough Test matches with England. They only play 3 when they should play at least 4 or 5. England and New Zealand are unbelievably tense matches. They're very, very close, most of the games, the one-dayers in particular. Fantastic. You know, it's great entertainment, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want to be entertained. You know, when I watch a game of football, even if it's not Tottenham, if the 2 teams playing are trying to entertain, as a neutral to whichever game it is, I'm happy if it's a good game to watch. If you
Yeah.
go to the cricket, watching England play, it might be a bit manic sometimes, but it's good to watch. It's great for the crowd. The atmosphere is great. The only issue I've got with cricket at the moment is if you pay for an Ashes, Day at the Ashes cricket, 100, 120, 150 quid for a ticket, and at the end of the day, you've had a full day's play plus half an hour, and you've only seen 80 overs, I think that the team that's not made the effort to bowl the overs should be refunding every player, every ticket. And the only way to stop this, there is a way to stop it. For every over you're short, so I accept that you can have 89 overs because you might have a lot of balls disappearing out of the ground and what have you. I can accept that. You can have an exceptionally hot day in England, and you might need a little bit more time for breaks. But they're stupid. They don't need to start playing cricket at 11 o'clock in the morning in June, July and August. They can play at 10:30, and they can play till 7:30. It doesn't get dark. There's no excuse not to get a full day's play in. None. And, you know, that's fair enough. It's different across India. Certain places you can't play after a certain time. You know it's going to be dark. Why the hell do they start so late then? Start a bit earlier.
Yeah.
You know, or change the rules. Instead of making it 90 overs a day, you must bowl the 80 overs within the 6 hours. Failure to do so, you will be fined 1 wicket for every 2 overs you're short. So if you come out to bat and you had bowled 76 overs and the other team's not out, so you've still got to come back the next day and bowl. The other teams, if you're short, you start with 2 wickets down. So obviously 2 of your tail enders are already out because you're not going to put them in as batsmen, are you?
Mm.
So, start with 2 wickets down. It's a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how heavy the penalty's got to be. It
But do you think
really
they'll
has
ever
to
do
be
anything
heavy.
like that?
Well, they're talking of changing one or two of the rules within the cricket to make sure the crowd the fans get their money's worth.
Okay.
So they are talking about reducing the interval for the fielding side, because what they're saying is, this is also an opportunity. See, if you're the fielding team, and we have to be fair here, if the conditions in the day it's 40 degrees, I don't care who you are. I don't care how fit you are. In 40 degrees, it is very hard after 2 hours not to need a break. But you must be able to bowl very close to 30 hours in the first 2 hours of a test match. Now, usually, if it's a fast bowler's morning, they get through about 26 overs, and then the spinner bowls the last over before lunch. And they get 27 overs in. Fair enough. First morning, first test match, kind of acceptable. However, if in the afternoons play, when there's now very, very hot, you only bowl 25, 26, 27 overs, you're already 6, 7 overs behind where you should be with the evening session starting. So how long can you go on the evening session? Because you might only bowl 26 or 27 overs. At the end of the day's play, you're 10 overs short, half an hour left. And you only bowl 6 overs in that half an hour. You've shortchanged the public by 4 overs. And it's a regular occurrence, yeah? So why not penalise the fielding team? So, for example, number one, instead of 11 till 1, make it 10:45 to 1 o'clock for lunch. That's the first thing, yeah?
Okay.
No doubt the captain gets told, you've got to put 30 overs in before lunch. Right. You come out after lunch having had your break. You've got to get 30 overs in, but the minimum that we'll accept is 28. So you're only 2 overs behind. Because if you're 2 overs behind, you have your tea break, you come out 2 overs short. You know by the time you get to the 6 o'clock deadline, you're not 2 overs short anymore. You're 4 or 5 short. You will get them in within the final half an hour. That's fair. The public's got their 90 overs in. I'm saying this without a change of innings, obviously.
Yeah.
So the public aren't short-changed. However, if you come in after 2.25 hours, that's 135 minutes to bowl 30 overs, which is 4.5 minutes per over.
Okay.
Yeah? 4.5 minutes. Now, in Test cricket, you don't get that many wides, and you do get the odd no ball. Yeah. But an over shouldn't take more than 5 minutes max for a fast bowler ever. So even if your fastest bowlers bowl realistically 16 overs, that's 80 minutes. 55 minutes for the other 14 overs, and you're going to bowl a spinner for at least 3 or 4 of those because you're going to have to. It's not that difficult to get really 8 overs at least minimum in 40 minutes from the medium pacers. You may get 9 or 10. So it creates the captain's got to think, I'm responsible for keeping this game going, not I'm slowing the game down. And as with football, where they've slowed the game down and got to the stage where they slowed it down so much, the FA have got sick and tired of it. And they basically told the referees this season, right, goal celebration, you add all the time on. Substitution, 30 seconds. You get 8 substitutions, that's 4 minutes. You get 3 goals, that's probably 2.5 minutes because it's about 40 seconds per celebration.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more. Depends on who's scored.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which is why you're seeing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes at the end of the game, and people are saying, well, where's he got that from? But it's obvious where it's come from. It's the non-playing time, and they're not, and people have got to get used to it. And you're looking at a professional football match, and these teams have got a bench nowadays where they've got 7 subs or 9 subs on the bench, and they can pick any 5. So it's a squad game. We've got
Yeah.
16 people playing nearly every single game.
Yeah.
And it's 100 minutes the game nowadays as an average, maybe 102. So, somebody says, oh, but we've got 10 minutes left when you come on with 80 minutes gone. I think when a game's got 80 minutes gone, the bloke that's coming on's probably got 20 minutes left.
20 minutes, yeah.
In the old days, you'd see this guy make a substitution to waste time. 89 minutes gone. 2-1 up away from home. We bring a sub on. We don't matter. We don't care. We'll take the geezer off who's furthest away because he's going to walk all the way across the pitch, not very quickly, shake hands with a couple of people, wave to the crowd, shake the ref's hand. He's taken 25 seconds to get to the walking off. The other bloke comes on. Now he gets into his position over the other side. 45, 50 seconds gone, maybe a bit more. And the ref adds 30 seconds.
Mm.
So 30 seconds literally disappears, just like that. Now, obviously, now you have to walk off at the nearest point. That's a sensible thing. But
They still don't always do that, though.
usually they do, to be fair. They do tend to go to the nearest one. But, I'm probably not the most popular referees because I'm quite sort of officious nowadays. I've got the stage. I think everyone I referee, most of them are thick as... You just don't listen, yeah? If you know the laws of the game and you know you can't walk onto the field of play without waiting to be substituted unless you're called on. You can't walk off right the way across the field of play. You know that. Everyone knows this, yeah? And yet they push you, and I go, why are you walking over it? Oh, sorry, ref. And the thing is, if I'm in one of my moods, which I get more often lately, hence the grumpy T-shirt.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah. I just think, I can't be bothered with it anymore. And I go, bang, here's a yellow card. And I've got to that stage. On Saturday, never in the history of football I've refereed, 422 games. I actually cautioned all three brothers on Saturday. I've never done that before.
All three brothers?
Yeah, 3 cautions for the home team, and they're all brothers.
Oh, my word.
And
what was it, all for time wasting, or was it...
No, one... He says he didn't swear, but I don't care when they swear immediately after something because it's come straight out. It's when they carry on and go, that's not what you're getting this all wrong, ref, and you don't know what you're doing, sort of thing. And I'm thinking, mate, I'm not listening to that. Bin, straight away in the bin, yeah?
Mm.
And then, his brother says, why have you sent me, and then he goes off and he's sitting in the subs bench because he's being substituted, although he could come back on. And he gives you a load of grief when he's sitting in there. And I'm thinking, I'm not taking that. Why would I take it? I wouldn't take it at work. So I go back over there and go, bang, here, you're in the sin bin. You might be a sub, but you're off for 10 minutes. You can't come on if the manager wants to bring you on. There you go. And then his brother, funny enough, the other team got a red card for it, but the brother stopped the ball being taken for throwing by not moving back, jumping up in front of the guy. And the guy who was taking the throw got very angry and just pushed him under here.
Oh, yeah.
Had to send him off. The laws are simple. You raise your hands. If you raise your hands here on like where my chest is, that's kind of okay. But you get up to here and up here, or here, yeah, you've raised your hands. The hands are up. They're not down. Down is here. So they're up here. So once they're up, I've got no choice. It's clear as day. I'll get marked badly by the home team. To be honest with you, if I'm totally frank, I couldn't care less.
Mm.
And if someone's watching it and they think, well, Steve doesn't really care about where he was, the simple fact of the matter is I've refereed there 12 times. I've had 12 red cards. Only once did I get a game without a red card. It just follows me around every time I get there.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. I genuinely know this. I have no idea what it is. I just suppose it's the ground that I just probably don't want to go to. It's a long way away. It's a pain in the bum to get to. And for whatever reason, however much I want the game to be a good game, I always end up with something happening in the game. And I can't think of one red card I've issued in those games which wasn't a red card. They've been absolutely clear as mustard.
Wow.
So
Are they like that
you
in
know,
their other games, or does it just seem to be?
I've refereed them when they've been away, and to be honest with you, the little in the midfield, he is a never shuts up moaning, never stops moaning. I mean, you know what Italians are like; they have got a temperament on them like the Spanish
Oh,
and the
you
Portuguese.
watch it, watch it.
No, I know you are, but you know it's that Southern European sort of. You know, they got a it's like moaning with your hands. You know, they just have to moan. It's just but that's how they are. They have to moan. They got to have something to moan at. They're not happy if they don't moan. I mean, I really do feel sometimes about saying to them, I said, "Do you moan like this at home?
Probably.
You know when your mother makes you pasta asciutta, you know, do you moan?" And they'll say, "Well, no." I said, "So why'd you spend the whole time moan at me? Do you think I deserve all this? Do you think I need to listen to your incessant garbage in this ear all the time?" And they don't get it. They think that's part and parcel of the game. And I say it, the Italians are really good play actors. They want the third brother, who I cautioned, was rolling around on the floor like he'd been poleaxed. And when
Oh,
he got
well,
up,
the
I
brother's
cautioned him.
Italian.
Oh yeah. But you know, it's in their temperament.
Yeah.
I'm friends with some very, very good referees, and they've refereed Italy, and everyone knows what they're like, the Italians.
Yeah.
It's how they are. The Spanish and the Portuguese, very similar. The South Americans, very similar.
Well,
You
listen,
know,
Steve. Just to break you off, we've got 4 minutes left. So, do you want to do the last few bits of the question?
yeah, if you want. Okay, so this is a bit cheeky, this bit.
Oh, okay.
I won more tournaments in the UK than I did in the US.
Okay. Okay. That could still be cricket or tennis.
Or golf.
Oh, golf, I meant. Golf or tennis.
My nickname has 3 letters. Well, that's how I'm known. The last clue's a bit sexist, sorry.
Go on.
I'm usually gay.
Okay. No, I don't know. Oh no. Is it golf?
No!
Oh no. Tennis.
Yes!
Okay, tennis.
Very famous.
Born in the 40s.
Yeah. Same time as you, I think.
I got an itchy forehead, excuse me.
Yeah. Funny, one of the fingers is going across it.
Born in the 40s. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
You do. Initials are BJK.
Billie Jean King.
There you go.
Yes. Why is her nickname Gay?
No, her nickname's has 3 letters. She's known as BJK.
Oh, so what's the gay thing? She's gay.
Well, she's a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't, but she is.
Yes.
She's very proud of Pride.
What do you mean she wasn't, but she is? What does that mean?
Huh? Well, she wasn't at the beginning. Now she is. But don't forget, some of the you try before you buy, don't you, sort of thing. So,
Give it a go.
I couldn't care about someone's sexuality. I never have done.
Yeah.
I don't care who they vote for politically. I don't care about their sexuality. I don't care whether they're religious. I don't care about any of that with people. I care whether they got a good heart.
Yes.
And you got to have a sense of humour. With me, if you're like, I just sometimes think I wish I had a gun. Sometimes do the world a favour. Where I live, down the road from where I live, there's this massive electrical plant, and they got 2 massive towers. And I've always felt they should pick all the vegetables up in one of these sort of grapple things and just drop them straight through the top. And they go through the bit in the middle and
Could
they
you
become
imagine?
liquidized, and you make one decent human being out of about the 30 vegetables you put in.
A vegetable
Honestly.
human being.
I
That
mean,
would be
it's
good.
a little bit over the top and probably not allowed. But could you imagine?
That would be so funny. No, it wouldn't be funny.
What,
That would be
what
interesting.
worries me is, well, I had this very quickly, I know we can run over a few, so I had this very quick thing while somebody said to me, do you know why we have really stupid people on the planet? And I said, yes. And he looked at me as if to say, hold on a minute, what's the answer? I'm telling him he's stupid, right? And the simplest thing is but you need stupid people on the planet to allow us clever people to appreciate how stupid they really are. And that's how it is.
Amen to that.
Right,
Okay.
just before we shoot off, before we shoot off, there
Yeah.
may be some people who watched the North London derby yesterday. There may be.
Oh, yes.
And whilst we were on the subject of Rob Jones, who's refereed Tottenham twice this season, has managed so far to give Spurs against Spurs 2 penalties, and we've conceded 2 penalties this season. But never mind. And both games he's refereed have finished 2-2. And both games, in my honest opinion, I think he's had a good game, but he has been slightly favourable to the home team. Yesterday, he made a pig 0-something in the first half, and because of it, it led to 2 Spurs players getting cautioned immediately afterwards. And whilst that in itself doesn't make a lot of difference, with the way the laws are this season and the bookings that people are getting, these guys are likely to get a suspension a lot quicker than I normally would because ineptitude came in that position at the game. Regarding the goal that Arsenal scored, which was a penalty, the laws on this are quite clear. It's a bit of a schmozzle of a law, I've got to say. Number one, was there anything Romero could have done about it? No, the ball struck him. I don't believe for one moment he could have got out of the way. But also within that law is the ball was goal bound, and therefore it has to be a penalty and no caution. Having said that, as you know, Josh Smith refereed Luton on the weekend and gave a penalty for Luton, which was absolutely horrendous decision. It was deflected on the guy at close range. He hit him in one bit and hit his hand. I mean, that was just a shocking decision. I'm sorry. It wasn't goal bound. It was a dreadful decision. So
I think that's the issue with the handball thing, is that it's so inconsistent. I don't even think the referees truly understand.
Yeah, they've made it so difficult now. It's just got ridiculous.
Yeah.
The other thing, lastly, with the Arsenal game, and I've got to say this because I've seen the sending off yesterday for Gusto, Chelsea against Villa. Initially given as a yellow card, I've got to say, in my opinion, I don't really believe Gusto was over the top with that challenge. Yes, it was slightly above the ankle, but he got the ball first. I couldn't see that as being a red card, if I'm totally honest. I'm looking at Eddie Nketiah's challenge yesterday on Vicario.
That looked bad.
Well, you slow that down, and I realise they're playing at 100 miles an hour, but that ball has gone a long, long time. That's not even close. He's not even in shot the ball. So for me, that was a red card, much more than Gusto's was. But here's the thing. With the issue with VAR, if Rob Jones had decided to give a red card there, VAR would not have said to him, mate, you need to go and look at that, you got it wrong. They'd have said, it's not a clear and obvious error. Because he decided to chicken out and give it the yellow card, they can't say to him, mate, you've got that wrong, it's not a clear and obvious error from your angle. Now, in my honest opinion, and again, I'm not saying this because I'm anti-Arsenal and pro-Tottenham, I'm saying it as a referee. There are times when you referee that even though you're trying to apply the laws of the game, you're also trying to keep a bit of common sense. And common sense often means trying to keep 11 on the field where you can. And for a split second, you don't get replay of everything you do. You got, especially at my level, one bang, that's it. If you feel that you have no option but to give a red card, as I had on Saturday, clearly a red card, a referee not made. I'm saying it without treading on toes. Not as experienced as me would maybe have taken the chicken way out and said, "Mate, that's a yellow card." Yeah.
Mm.
The problem is the week after someone does the same thing from the other team, and the referee sends them off, and then they go, "Well, the referee didn't do that last week," and that's what you get. And I can't referee someone else's game from last week. I can
No.
only referee my game.
Yeah.
I can make a mistake, and I certainly made 2 mistakes on Saturday. One, I don't know what happened. I had a mad moment. I thought it was a back pass, but it wasn't. So I stopped the game for a back pass, and then I realised I'd made a mistake. And the keeper had the ball in his hands anyway. I said, right, we'll leave the game as it is. We carry on from there. It's my fault. No one else has got involved with this. It's not a big issue. We'll play on from where we are. But we're all human, and we all do make mistakes. But what people forget is these guys who are pro refs, super fit, are under incredibly intense pressure to get their decisions right. And it's not always that easy. You give what you see initially. It's a flick of the, it's like that when you make a decision very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, when you send someone off, unless it's blatantly obvious, like high tackle or he's punched somebody, which is so obvious, a good referee will take a few seconds and wait and give himself the time to think, yeah, I've definitely seen that. That is definitely the right course of action. Bang. When someone punches someone and you're looking at it and you go, there's no, it's out as soon as he's halfway around. I'm sort of here.
Clear and obvious.
Yeah, but I overruled the assistant for the 4th goal from the away team on Saturday because the guy that kicked the ball was standing next to me and he kicked it to his mate round the back of the defender. Lovely pass. And as he's kicked it, I've got the assistant referee at that angle, and I'm like that, and I've literally done that. And as he's kicked it, I've seen the guy, and the forward has run as it's kicked, just past the defender as it's kicked. In my opinion, there's no doubt in my mind he's onside when it's kicked.
Yeah.
But a split second later, he's a yard offside, and he flagged, naturally, because his angle, he sees it after it's kicked, not as it's kicked.
Yeah.
That's the thing. These aren't professional assistants. They're not looking at that angle. They're looking at that angle.
Yeah.
So they don't notice what was kicked exactly as it's clicked. And they go, well, I'm not cheating. I know you're not cheating.
Mm.
But they'll mark me down for doing the right thing. And that's the thing. And I hardly ever get a game where I don't overrule an assistant. Neutrals,
Difficult.
probably I don't, but pretty well every club linesman, because half of them are clueless. And the other half try their best to do it properly and make the odd mistake. And that's a simple honesty about it, Anyway,
well, my battery is going to die. We've had 7 minutes extra time. 7 minutes extra time.
Remember, it's 90 minutes plus.
Plus. We've nearly had the 10.
Yeah.
10. Okay. We've just got a quick comment coming from Matt French. He has said, great insight.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Matt. Just because, Matt, I cannot believe you didn't tune in earlier because I ran through all the basketball earlier and you missed it.
Well, he's probably waiting for your piece on the rugby.
And the rugby, yeah. But I did do the basketball. So thank you very much for tuning in there, Matt.
So just to check something with you, sweetheart. You're doing basketball this weekend?
I'm doing the basketball Saturday and Sunday. Home game.
6 p.m. 5
p.m. on Saturday at home at Bletchley Leisure Centre. 6 p.m. At Hemel on Sunday. Right. 9 seconds left.
Because I knew you were desperate to ask. Thankfully, I've got match number 423 to referee, which is Beds Prem County League, County Premier League, and I have got first against second, which is Caldicott against Stotfold. So,
nice game.
The top two, should be an interesting afternoon. I'm pretty sure I'm going to upset at least 27 people on Saturday, give or take, and maybe another 5 on the bench or 5 in the crowd. But I'll do my best to try and come home without being beaten up, and hopefully everything will go good.
We'll put you in bubble wrap. Okay, so we're back in 2 weeks' time, right?
Yep. So we should be on. The next one should be the 9th.
Yeah.
Then we've got the 23rd of October. Now, I've got to tell you, the 23rd of October, Spurs are playing Fulham that Monday evening,
Oh, okay.
8 o'clock kickoff.
We could
So-
do an hour. We could just do an
Yeah,
hour.
we'll probably do an hour about 6:30.
Okay.
Unbelievably, this is what happened. 6th of November, following one, Spurs are playing Chelsea Monday evening.
They've done it deliberately, to mess up our podcast.
know.
I'm going to write to them and say, not on. Not
But-
okay.
But we're all right on the 20th of November. And we're all right on the 4th of December and the 18th.
Perfect.
And maybe we might, because Monday would be the 1st of Jan, we may do a Christmas special this year
Yes.
where Tara said she's going to dress up in her Christmas stockings and suspenders, but I don't know about that.
You said you'd buy me for Christmas, and I'm still waiting for them.
Right, what are you after? Oh, the kickback.
Yeah. And 4 fingers, not 2. 4 fingers.
We do not want to know how big they are. We want to know what the shapes are. So,
Okay. I've really got to go to my batting
fingers.
track.
I will give you this 2 and that 2. You can have 4 fingers.
Oh, itchy forehead, itchy forehead. Okay. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget to join us for the live commentary. Listen out on social media. Links will go up later in the week. Thank you,
Good luck
everyone.
with the weekend, Tara. Yeah?
Thank you very much. Speak to you
Okay.
soon. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.